This podcast is a member of the Place to Be Nation family. Visit us at placetobenation.com, the only place to be in your pop culture world.
Place to Be Nation. Welcome back to PTBN's NBA Team Podcast for this sort of special excursion episode or expansion episode, which is probably better than excursion. I am one of your co-hosts, Andrew Reich. I'm joined by Adam Murray. Adam, we're kind of in our break scenario at this point anyways, but we always like to do this every year. One year we will actually have expansion teams, and what we are talking about every year with this is going to actually occur. So I always enjoy like the practice of it because it's going to happen. Like we are going to get 2 expansion teams. I think actually there was a recent interview. I think he was interviewed by Dan Patrick, and Silver kind of like leaked out info, said that they're going to look at it really hard this offseason, meaning they're going to get the wheels turning on vetting the cities of who they want.
Yeah, they'll do all their pay.
Everyone's saying the street is saying it's Las Vegas and Seattle.
Yeah,
but, you know, there's Mexico City. There's a couple others you could think
go
of.
ahead, Kansas City. Go ahead, Portland. Throw
Pittsburgh.
in your bids. We all know it's going to be the Seattle and Las Vegas. But
what about Sioux Falls?
Said, we do.
What about Sioux Falls?
They got the Skyforce.
No, I mean, they got a beautiful new arena there where a lot of people go there. It's just not there's no population in, South Dakota. That's the problem.
No, so what are we going to visit? All G League teams and former NBA D League teams and then CBA teams? Like we'll go to Fargo and Boise.
Well, they can do the thing like the Wizards do where they try to claim the DMV. So they like try to claim 3 states at once. That's how the Saints get away with it. The Saints basically, I know it sounds crazy for people who don't know, but Alabama and Mississippi are full of Saints fans. Full of them.
Well, yeah, because that's the media range.
Mm-hmm.
You don't just say, well, the city walls, and then that's it. No, you have, and that's why when you get to close to 2 professional teams, you have certain towns that are on one side, certain towns on the other. I remember being, working for the Yankees network, and then, well, if some parts of Western Jersey are Phillies teams, so you have to have alternate programming for the Phillies team.
And remember all that drama too around Anaheim with the Angels. It was like, well, we can't call them Anaheim, the Ducks are there, so it's got stupid. But it's gonna happen. And every year we do this in the offseason. It's a fun exercise because there is a process to it. We've had expansion drafts. We haven't had one since 2004, but let's just kind of go through a real one, but we've done them,
Yes, we've done them last year, and I have last year's. Would you like to hear how we did last year?
Sure. Well, what do you mean how you did? It was a hypothetical roster.
Yeah, but how our hypothetical team did.
Oh, I understand that. Yeah, sure.
Okay, so the last 2 cuts of our team were Patrick Baldwin and Mohamed Gay. Mohamed Gay, that was a bad cut since he wound up starting 28 games and looks to be part of the Hawks rotation now. So our roster was Craig Porter Jr., Jet Howard, Jaden Hardy, Vince Williams Jr., O'Shea Brissett, Cam Reddish, Matisse Thybulle, Duncan Robinson, Zeke Naji. We took a flyer on Pakashevsky, who went to Europe.
Mm-hmm.
Isaiah Jackson, who played 5 games.
Yeah,
Steven Adams, nice pickup. And then the other Jalen Williams. With our draft picks, we draft Matas Buzelis and Tyler Kloick, and we got a future Miami first for taking Duncan Robinson.
That's a 20-win team. That would have been a 20-win team.
Yeah. But that's what expansion teams are supposed to do.
That's the life you live. Yes.
Yeah, you don't have much money. You take a couple flyers on a Jet Howard and Isaiah Jackson, people on rookie contracts, young people, Mohamed Gay, and then hope you develop some people. And then the future Miami first, that, by taking Duncan Robinson, that would have given them money for the Jimmy Butler trade and could have gotten Durant, and a whole course of everything could have been changed. But now we are back again. This time is different because this time we are rival GMs, but we will uniformly come up with the protection list.
Okay.
So way the protection list works is each team can protect a maximum of 8 players.
So I'll just get this straight. So say you have 14 guaranteed contracts on a team. You can only protect 8. That means 6 are exposed. And then if
Pla-
another team has 10 of them that are guaranteed, 2 are exposed.
Only people who are under contract.
Right.
So players
and
who
that
are,
includes restricted free agency, though.
if they are restricted free agents and you pick them, they automatically become unrestricted free agents. So you would imagine you had a talk with them first saying, I'm going to take you, let's just say, was it Grimes? Quentin Grimes is a restricted free
Yeah,
agent.
this summer he is.
So
Yes.
for some strange reason, let's say Philly exposes him, we take him. He's now unrestricted and free to go anywhere.
What about
But
players with player options and team options?
Player options and team options, they have to protect, regardless if you think they're going to opt in or opt out. So that comes a strategy for the team. Any player who's going to be a free agent after this year they're not eligible to be protected.
Right. And two ways are not protected at all. Like
two ways are not real contracts.
Correct.
So the way it goes is the season has ended. A lot of players were promoted to regular contracts. So we are going by the end of the regular season rosters. Teams have 8 teams to protect, 8 players to protect, and we will sort of figure out who they will expose for our draft board coming up.
So that we know what's in the pool about teams that we can pick as our expansion teams. Right.
Yes. So we can't really do. I remember, I was listening back to last year's expansion draft where we referenced the first one where you took Chris Bosh, and I went heavy on Shabazz Muhammad. And that's the point of expansion teams are bad usually for 4 or 5 years because you need those.
You got to tank to get some high picks, and then you finally find the superstar.
That's all you can do because technically you don't have the full salary cap for 3 years.
Yeah, this is not the NFL where you immediately become good if you draft well and you get a good quarterback in a trade. That's not how it goes for expansion teams. They suffer. They suffer for like 3 or 4 years.
So the way we will do it is we're going to start with the East, then we're going to go to the West, and each GM respectively gets 1 veto power. So let's just say for the Celtics, I'm like, no, we're going to expose Porzingis.
Okay.
We don't want him. And you'll be like, Celtics have, that doesn't make sense for the Celtics to do that. They have to keep him. I am overruling you. You are not protecting.
But you can only use that once.
You can only use it once. So if we get into an argument, we get into a little spat. This is the Uno reverse.
Now,
like
we will tell the listener, we did talk a little, we showed our hand a little bit before we did it, but in terms of discussing and having the arguments of who gets exposed, who doesn't, this podcast is where we're going to talk about it. So bear with us.
Basically I shared a few of my list, my team's protection. You shared a few of yours, and it was like, oh, I see we're gonna have a couple. I imagine for 75% we're like, yeah, we're good, but there'll be a couple players. Like I remember last year with Luka Garza, who you were for some reason
I was trying to protect. Yeah,
you're like, I gotta keep Luka, and
well, no, I mean, Luka was the most important player in the NBA. Didn't you watch last year? All they talked about was Luka.
Yes, all about the Garza line. Okay, so we are starting with the East.
Yep.
We are starting with Atlanta.
We're going alphabetical. Yep.
3 players they need to expose. So we got Trae Young, Jalen Johnson, Terrence Mann, Okongwu, Rizacier, Dyson Daniels. Those are straight up safe.
For me, I mean, among all the, do you want me to list?
No, I'm saying those 6 are completely. They're protected.
Yeah, I would.
We got
the only one I actually thought about for a minute was Terrence Mann, but they need him because
they totally need him. So we got 2 players to protect, 3 to expose of the following: George Niang, Kobe Buffkin, Vit Krejci, Mohamed Gay, and Dominic Barlow.
I would protect Niang and Krejci. That's what I would do.
I would Krejci or Niang, I would say, because Niang is 31, but he provides that veteran influence.
Good 3-point shooter, kind of a big man.
Like Kobe Buffkin and Dominic Barlow, we can say goodbye.
Yeah, Buffkin was a first rounder, and that's sad, but it just
He didn't work.
hasn't come to fruition.
Muhammad Gay, like I said, he was starting at that. They benched Clint Capella for
They
him.
benched Capella and they moved to Congo as the starter. Capella's a free agent. It's likely he won't be back. So I
So
understand the logic there. So I can relent there and go with Gay.
So
And yeah,
Critchy or Niang, it
I would
doesn't matter
keep
to me. Their
Niang.
numbers. You want Niang, veteran leadership.
Yeah, so you can have some size. I feel like Atlanta does have like potential from an athletic standpoint with Razache, Johnson, Daniels. They just got to get them all healthy at the same time. But I would expose Krejci in that case and keep Muhammad Gay and keep George Niang. And Barlow and Buffkin are exposed.
I would agree. So Buffkin, Critchy, and Barlow are exposed. Moving on to Boston. We got Tatum, Brown, Holiday, Porzingis, Derek White, Sam Hauser, Peyton Pritchard. All of those guys are safe. Yes, that's 7.
Yeah, and I would protect Shireman.
I was going to say you have Shireman, Tillman, Kada, Walsh, or Davidson. Only one can stay.
Shireman's a first round. Well, was he a first round pick or a second round?
Yes, he's a first round pick.
I would keep him.
That's a fairly easy one. So Tillman, Namias, Jordan Walsh, JD Davidson. Goodbye. Now we're going to get to the tricky one. Brooklyn has 4 people they need to cut. We're starting with Claxton, Johnson, or Cam Johnson, Clowney, Whitehead, Keon Johnson, and Jalen Wilson. I think they're all safe.
I think Whitehead,
he's a first round pick.
I know you could talk me into keeping him. The other thing too is that Cam Thomas is a restricted free agent.
We got Cam Thomas, so
you have to do it right.
Okay, so we'll be on the fence with Dariq Whitehead. Max Lewis, I say, can go.
Yeah, that's fine.
Timmy can go.
Yeah, they converted him from a 2-way late.
Yeah.
So that was why that happened.
We have 2 RFAs with Jair Williams, Day'Ron Sharp, and then we have Tyrese Martin, who's sitting there, along with Dariq Whitehead. So we got 2 more people we need to cut. I would say we keep Day'Ron Sharp because they like him and he gives size and they seem to be wanting to develop him.
Yeah, I'm fine with Sharp. Jair Williams, I would keep and let Whitehead go.
You'd let Whitehead go. You'd keep Jair Williams. He's a restricted free agent and he did some, but they have 4 first round picks.
They do. And so also there is a possibility that Williams will get overpriced, like as an offer sheet.
So I'll be fine getting rid of Whitehead.
Okay, or like exposing him to. I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean
Whitehead
has really struggled because there were 2 that got picked.
He has
Clowney and Whitehead, and Clowney's played more than Whitehead has.
So the 4 that are exposed for Brooklyn are Dariq Whitehead, Maxwell Lewis, Drew Timme, and Jair Williams.
Yeah,
thus protecting Sharp.
The other one I was
Tyrese Martin.
Yeah, the other one I was on the fence for was Jalen Wilson, but I think they like him. He's not he's not an expensive player, but he actually did get a lot of minutes on that team. He's not a perfect player, of course.
So you want to keep Jair Williams over Dariq Whitehead?
I'll go ahead and go the other way, and I'll let Whitehead stay, and Jair Williams as an RFA is on the market.
I just think with so many rookies coming in, they can afford to let him go.
Right.
But okay, so I am fine with that. Let's move on to Charlotte. Charlotte has to expose 5 people. So let's start with those who
can they expose them all?
Can they just contract and just
I mean, you go ahead with the team players that you think you would protect.
Okay, protect. You're going to start with LaMelo, Miles Bridges, Josh Green, Brandon Miller, Tejan Salon, and Mark Williams. That's 6. I would say Grant Williams. You disagree with Grant Williams.
I would expose Grant Williams just to get his contract off the books. Now, can you move? Say, for example, so if you lose, this is just for the listener. If they get picked, there really is no compensation. Now you can't.
No, you just straight up lose his contract.
You lose the player. Now, this is where the logic kicks in down the road. is there a possibility that with the $13 million for Grant Williams coming off a torn ACL, that you can attach that in a trade and get value out of it in return? For me with Williams, I don't think so. I think he's too old. That's just my point of view.
I
Nurkic,
think
I would expose entirely.
Nurkic, I would expose. Josh
Okogie, I would
Okogie, I would
expose. Yeah.
expose. Trey Mann, I would expose because of his injury. He bet on himself and got
Yeah.
injured. Grant Williams, I think Charlotte can trade him, or he could use his salary in a matching deal, and he has more value as opposed to just letting him go for nothing.
Okay, then I will do this. I'll put Grant Williams on the protected list, but I would also, as the last protected slot, be Nick Smith Jr.
Over Musa Diabate, who
over
was
Musa
there.
Diabate. Yes,
Who was there?
he was their starting center, but that was because they thought they traded Mark Williams. So if you have Williams and Salon, that's enough. You don't need Diabate.
Okay, I will defer to you on that one, and so we will expose. Charlotte will expose Nurkic, Josh Okogie, Daquan Jeffries, Musa Diabate, and Trey Mann.
Okay.
All right, Chicago, who is just a sad.
So this is the only one where I actually thought about a team exposing their highest paid player, Nikola Vucevic. I would say no. I think they could probably get value out of Vucevic at the end of the day, even though I don't think they would give
giving
that much.
giving him away for now exposing Patrick Williams and
I would do that.
They take him, which
now an expansion team, one of us would probably pluck Patrick Williams. That's the thing.
We will see. So players who will be definitely kept are Vucevic, Zach Collins, Kevin Huerter, Kobe White, Jalen Smith, Amo Dusumu, Bezelis, and Giddey. I would imagine exposing Javon Carter, Dalen Terry, Julian Phillips, and Patrick Williams.
Yeah, that was the one Phillips was the one I was kind of going back and forth on because they do like him and they played him a lot off the bench. They played a lot faster, so they actually played a lot of their bench guys. Giddey is a restricted free agent, so even though he doesn't have a contract per se yet, you have to still protect.
You can't let him go, and it's just as much as you like Julian Phillips. Are you going to keep him over Dusumu?
Well, no.
I would keep
Dusumu. Dusumu does have injury problems, but I would keep Dusumu.
And that's what.
And Bezelis has a future.
And with this draft, we're realizing the NBA is getting a lot of. Each team has depth now, and it's not just. It used to be each team has 4 or 5 players, and then garbage.
Well, you saw it in the NBA Finals. Like both teams, the Eastern Conference and Western Conference teams, they were 8 deep at the minimum. They had to be.
Now, this one I imagine is a quick, easy one we both agree on. We have Cleveland, who needs to expose 2 people who I will just reverse order it and say Craig Porter Jr. and Isaac Okoro will be exposed.
I would say, yeah. Jalen Tyson didn't play that much, but he's a first round pick.
And that's and
that's
Porter,
movable salary.
Yeah, so you got Jalen Tyson, Dean Wade, Max Strus, Jarrett Allen, DeAndre Hunter, Evan Mobley, Garland, and Mitchell. Yeah, protect. That's a fairly
and a very expensive team. True. Yeah.
Cut and dry situation. Same thing we got coming up next with Detroit. Of their team of players, I would expose Bobby Clintman and Simone Fontecchio.
Yeah, Fontecchio just did not find a role on the roster for whatever reason.
No, they traded him from Utah, and he was good for that half a season, but then they rebuilt their roster.
The guy for the last spot, it came down between Fontecchio and Marcus Sasser, but I think they like Sasser because he's more of a traditional point guard.
Well, Sasser's a first-round pick and also $6 million less. So Cade, Tobias Harris, Isaiah Stewart, Jaden Ivey, Asar Thompson, Ron Holland, Jalen Duren, and Marcus Sasser protected. Indiana Pacers.
Got to keep them all. We can't have a situation like when I don't know if you remember this, but when the Pistons won an NBA championship, they had an expansion draft for the Wolves and the Heat. They lost Rick Mahorn. Yep. And he was one of their key guys. Like, you can't let that happen,
So Indiana needs to expose 3 people. First would be Isaiah Jackson, who only, like we said last year, played 5 games. He's kind of easy to cut. Ben Shepherd is probably the lowest money and Obviously, we're protecting Siakam, Halliburton, Nemhard, Toppin, Nesmith, Mathurin, first round pick, Jarace Walker. And so we got Ben Shepherd, yeah, could go. So we're going to keep Furphy or McConnell. McConnell is 32 years old. They love him.
Well, I would keep McConnell because the coach loves him. So they already gave him an
expose
extension.
Furphy, who's just a high second round pick.
The one I'm not sure about. I need to just have a conversation on this one. Is that I would actually think about keeping Ben Shepherd instead of Jarace Walker. Now,
but he's
Shepherd's
a lottery
cheaper.
pick.
He is. Now,
so
he's got to start playing well.
He hasn't had an opportunity because of being behind Siakam and Miles Turner. And
if they go in knowing they don't have Jackson anymore, you'll probably see more of Walker next year. Shepherd is got a lot. He's a solid utility man off the bench. But I'll let that go. Like I'll Walker.
He was a lottery pick. He was, I believe, 7th or 8th. So I don't think you just want to give him up for nothing and just write him off.
And I want to say Shepherd was a late first round pick.
Yes, he was 20,
like very
something.
late. Yeah, that's why his salary is so low. So yeah, let's just keep Walker, expose Shepherd, Furphy, and Jackson.
Okay, now we come to Miami, who is okay. We could let's put on a pot of coffee.
Well, I would expose Duncan Robinson. I'll tell you that. He's got a player option that he's going to use, but I would expose him.
We got 6 players we need to expose for Miami. So let's just keep the people we are saving in Bam, Tyler, Wiggins, Jovic, Kalel Ware, Hawkwez Jr., and Davion Mitchell. They like.
Yeah. Okay.
Agreed. So we got 1 player we need to protect between Rozier Robinson, Kyle Anderson, Haywood Highsmith, and Pell Larson and Keshad Johnson.
You might not agree with this, but I would actually protect Rozier because I could actually move that money.
I would just say I hope somebody takes that $26 million. I can't imagine them being, all accounts is they're like that was a bad trade.
And an expansion team might take the bait on that and try to say, oh, we have a go-to scoring guard later in years.
He's very high, and I don't think you put yourself the risk of that. But I think with Davion Mitchell and Tyler Hero, Terry Rozier just never fit in. And if you want to make him the one that they save, we can.
Yeah. Well, Highsmith is the one I was thinking about too. Let's just have Rozier stay as a protected player. Kyle Anderson, Robinson, and Highsmith are exposed, and see where that goes.
So Pell Larson gone. Haywood.
Yeah, Kevin Love might retire, to be honest.
But he's under yeah, I don't think
he could be a veteran off on a bad team like that for 1 year. He seems like he's got a good head on his shoulder
for a half a season and then get a buyout.
Right. I mean, he wasn't doing much in Miami. He was riding the bench.
Okay, moving on to Milwaukee. I think you can either go one of 2 ways with this. So we need to expose 3 people that don't really have much. So we got Lillard, Giannis, Kuzma, Portis, Pat Connaughton, Kevin Porter Jr., AJ Green, Andre Jackson, Chris Livingston, Tyler Smith, and Ryan Rollins.
I'll tell you this. So I wouldn't consider him a high salary. The problem is that because Milwaukee's right at the tax or just over the tax, they've been trying to dump him forever. Nobody wants him. I would expose Pat Connaughton.
You would expose Connaughton
because I would just try to see if someone will take a team will take him.
I would expose Lillard because I don't think anyone wants him at his age and his contract.
There's no way the new Seattle Sonics are going to take Damian Lillard.
Considering they can only get 75% of the salary cap, I don't want to think they spend literally half their money on
now.
One
let me
player.
ask you
so
this: now we're getting really inside baseball. Damian Lillard is one of the few players that has a no trade clause in his contract. Can you use that in the event of being protected in an expansion draft?
No, because I think that's not relevant. That's just you're exposed and not exposed.
Okay, well, if that's the case, then it would give some incentive for the Bucks to expose him. But here's the thing. You're getting nothing in return for him. Now, you're going under the assumption you wouldn't get anything in return from him anyways at his age.
This year, they're not going to get anything. So I can't imagine, again, a new team will want him or let's just say Seattle will take him, and then they'll trade him to
Then you're
Brooklyn.
begging Giannis to trade you. I mean,
No,
that's
I
what
just
you're
think it's
doing.
a safe. We're going to expose you, but we're fairly confident you're not going to get picked because it doesn't make sense. Because there's nobody who will be.
Well, here's the problem. Like they have 12 guaranteed or 11 guaranteed contracts, but like you're gonna expose Lillard because we just like Pat Connaughton and Ryan Rollins that much. Give me a break.
Well, I would expose Rollins and Livingston as well. So
Yeah.
it really comes down between Pat
They like AJ
Connaughton.
Green a lot. They like Andre Jackson.
They don't have much. So it comes down to Connaughton or Lillard.
Yeah. The
Who
Twitter
would
feed would
you?
say expose Kuzma. I would expose Connaughton for
You would
sure.
expose Connaughton, keep
Yeah.
Lillard. That is a very interesting strategy. So we will keep Lillard and then expose Connaughton. That is not a problem. Moving on to the Knicks.
We might have problems later, but that one I had to fight off. Yeah.
Moving on to the this is I have one veto, and that this is not the time for it. Moving on to the Knicks.
So they actually only have 10
players.
guaranteed. Yeah, they have 10 guaranteed.
So there's only 2 players. So obviously you keep Towns, Anunoby, Brunson, Mikal Bridges, Josh Hart.
Mitchell you're going to the bottom of the bench, and who would you rather?
Tyler Kloek and Ariel Hakporti.
Yeah, then who are you exposing in that case?
Yeah, Kloek and Hakporti we expose.
Okay, but you want to keep. So you want to keep Pacome D-Day.
So would you rather Pacome D-Day? Tyler Kloek is really, 6 of one, half dozen of another. Who do you?
They're so close to the tax that I would actually expose Dadi because he's more expensive, and see if they can get some relief. Hakporti, I'm fine with. Kolek also, they just need a second point guard. I mean, you saw it in the playoffs. Like when Jalen Brunson went to the bench, who do they have at the point guard position? Freaking DeLon Wright,
Yeah, and well, coaching, he stuck
can they
with his
expose their
guys
coaching? Can they expose if this was a coach expansion draft, can we protect a coach across the league so that the Knicks can finally get one?
Oh, that has just been. I don't know when
that's
this
another
is dropping,
topic for another day.
It had been a rough go for them trying to ask for every coach, and every team was
what
like,
if Josh Hart was just a player coach?
Oh, it's like maybe you should have thought it through before you, or
Actually
had somebody lined up before you did this.
It's like an old phrase: don't quit your old job until you have a new job. Always.
Now we come to a very messy situation with Orlando, who needs to expose 7 players. They have 15 people under contract, and
why so many? It's because they used all of their draft picks over the last few years.
They used their draft picks. They didn't trade.
And then they did extensions on
They just kept, running everything back and adding and running everything back and adding. So starting from the top, you keep Wagner, Suggs, KCP, Banchero. Keep Jonathan Isaac.
Yeah, $15 million for a big is actually reasonable now.
Okay, so
I keep Mo Wagner for sure.
I would expose him due to his ACL injury. Was it ACL?
If I'm looking at the numbers right, you're saying that you would rather protect Wendell Carter Jr. and expose Mo Wagner.
I would rather expose Mo Wagner due to his injury and keep either Wendell or Goga.
Between the two, I would keep Wendell.
Okay, I will.
And I think the other ones that we are thinking of that would be protected are Anthony Black and Tristan Da Silva.
So we need to expose 7. So Cole Anthony, nope. Mo Wagner, I'd say nope, because he has a team option and they're going to decline it and bring him back on a lesser deal. So I don't.
But you might make Franz mad. That's the thing.
Franz is old enough now and has his max deal. I think he's okay with it.
Okay.
So Cole, Mo Wagner, Goga, Gary Harris exposed, Jet Howard exposed. Corey Joseph expose and Caleb Wilson expose and keep De Silva.
That sounds fine to me. De Silva is a rookie, but he played actually a lot. So we'll see how that goes for him. But in the future, I would definitely keep De Silva, try to protect him. Anthony Black, to me, was not even a question. I would protect him. They like him. Cole Anthony, the ship has sailed. Like, I just don't see it anymore.
And Jet Howard just
Nope.
exposed
He's
again.
just like Kobe Buffkin. Him and Kobe Buffkin got picked close to one another. So
we took him last year and it did not work out well for us at all. Philly needs to expose 4 people. I think this is a fairly easy list. You have to keep Embiid, George, Maxey, Oubre, Drummond, Jared McCain, and Quentin Grimes.
Yes, I agree with that. The hardest one is the last one. And it's really just comes down to that merry bunch at the end.
So, yes, out of that list of Justin Edwards, Adam Bona, Ricky Council, Jared Butler, Eric Gordon, you can only keep 1.
I would keep Ricky Council.
Ricky Council, really? I would keep.
He was the only player that played all the games.
Because everyone else is injured. I thought Justin Edwards really.
He had more production per game than Council did for sure.
That's
so if
why I would
production. It would be Edwards.
I would keep Edwards based on production over Council.
Okay, I'll go with that. Okay. Grimes is an RFA, but you can't let him walk.
You can't let him walk for nothing. And
for those who don't know, Grimes got traded from Dallas to he went from Detroit to Dallas, but then mid-season he got traded from Dallas to Philly. But even though the season was a loss for Philly, Grimes averaged, I think it was somewhere around 23 points a game in the last 2 months of the season. He was on fire.
Yeah. But then again, that was because McCain and Maxey were out.
Right.
So it's when they come back and then they add a top 3 draft pick who will be a wing, most likely. That's Philly. That's their list. Yeah. We'll move on. .org.
Toronto.
Okay, this is a very tough one. It's a lot of, you can talk me into a lot of different directions because they need to expose 4 people. So of their really top heavy roster, you have Barnes, Ingram, Quickly, Barrett, Fertile, Grady Dick, and Jacoby Walter. You all have to keep because they're all first round picks or part of the core. So that's
I agree with that completely.
That's 7 people right there. We got 1 player between Ohio Abaji, Jonathan Mogbo, Jamal Sheed, Jamison Battle, and AJ Lawson. Of that list.
To me, it's not hard. Mogbo. I would protect Mogbo.
I was going to say, of that list, Jamison Battle is the only one I could sort of write off. Everyone else,
Abaji's not the worst contract. So he's movable.
He found a home.
He's also
there.
Cheap. Yeah.
He found a home there finally. And, like you said, he averaged 10 points, 39% from 3. AJ Lawson averaged 9 points. Jamal Sheed, he averaged 7 points.
Jamison Battle was basically a gunner from the 3-point line.
And Mogbo was sort of a glue guy.
I like Mogbo. I think he had 2 triple doubles this year. I just like him. I would probably.
I was like, you can say I want Sheed. Yeah, you know what? He really overachieved. I like Lawson. Okay, he really overachieved too. I like, Mogbo. Okay, so we will keep Mogbo and expose the rest.
Yeah, Abaji would probably be a prime candidate in an expansion draft situation. If these are
it's going to be very interesting when we start draft, because it's not, last year we came to a consensus of who we like over the others. Now I got to figure out who do I take before you take.
Exactly.
So you could like Abaji, like, I don't know. Do I, how's my point guard looking? When it comes to the draft, how am I got to build this team. My 20-win team needs to be better than your 20-win team.
So we have the most ping pong, because that worked out so great for the teams that had 60 losses in the lottery.
We need to both get the 5th and 6th pick next year.
Yeah, so we could get the 4th and 5th pick while some fucking team that just made the play-in gets the number 1 pick. Yeah, that's fantastic.
All right, so
the Wizards.
The Wizards, they need to expose 6 players, and I think this is a bottom-up team. As opposed from top down.
I agree with that.
So, okay, obviously, Kispert, Sarr, Kulabi, Sadiq Bey, Bub Carrington, AJ Johnson, and Keyshawn George, we all have to keep.
Yeah, I would for Bay. He didn't play a minute because he signed a new deal after having a torn Achilles at the end of
And he
that
was out for the year, but I
preseason.
think
But he's not the biggest contract. It's movable. He might even be productive now that he's 100%.
I would keep him over like other people, like Rashawn Holmes. No,
Rashawn Holmes, I would expose.
Anthony Gill out exposed. Colby Jones
Anthony
out
Gill.
exposed.
Here's
Justin
the
Champagner.
interesting part: Poole, Middleton, and Smart. What do you do there?
So
That's the
Poole
trick.
Middleton Smart, we only could keep one player.
I would keep Poole because somebody's going to want him.
But his contract is very heavy. So if
It
you
is.
if
But
you
he's
get
younger
yourself
than-
out from under him, like Marcus Smart, you could trade for something. I think Chris Middleton, I would just expose his contract. I don't think anybody wants him.
Yeah, I think he's going to wind up being one of those expirings at the end of next season. And he'll get dumped.
So it comes down to really Sadiq Bey. Do you just sort of write him off, or do you Jordan Poole or Marcus Smart? I would say I would expose Jordan Poole and hope somebody takes him, because you're going to get. They have had this, of course, is going to air after the draft, but we're recording it before the draft, so they have a top 5 pick, or no, they have the 6th pick. So why not expose Poole? Hope somebody takes him. That frees up all that room for all these other guys, for Bub and Kulabi and whoever they bring in, who will probably be a wing.
So if you expose a player, even at 30 million like that,
there's no guarantee they take him.
I would say that's going to be close to a guarantee, to be honest.
So
I'll go with it. I'll say keep Smart with the 20 million and expose Jordan Poole,
because there's no guarantee somebody wants that $31 million on their books.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Now Poole's agent's going to be mad. I'll say that.
Well, of course they're all going to be mad.
Have we done the research of whose agents are whose?
They all have like 3 or 4 agents.
But no, Poole being there have been rumors all over the place. Obviously, as we're talking, that they're chopping Poole. That's the story.
They're shopping, but I think if they could get under it, if you get out of his 30 million, you can now take.
But I agree with what you said to start when we started on the Wizards. I agree with what you said. It's a bottom up, protect from the bottom up situation. You got a young nucleus. You don't know which ones are going to be awesome, but Bub Carrington, Keyshawn George, Sarr, Kispert, Koulibaly. You got to protect them all. You have to protect them all because you got to see what they're going to become in the next couple of years.
All right, and that will wrap up the East. We will be back with the West. Yep.
Yep.
So, all right, for Andrew Reich, I am Adam Murray. Have a good one.